Breaking news mga kabayan, sa mga nagsasabing peke daw na nasa Pilipinas ang nuclear submarine ng Amerika, nagkakamali sila. Aktual na paglutang ng USS Ohio sa Subic Bay, nakuhaan ng video. Mga Pilipino panalo. Dahil ang ikalawang pinakabago at high-tech na long-range patrol aircraft na isinuplay ng Israel dumating na sa bansa. Kung dati nakikisakay lang tayo sa mga maritime patrol aircraft ng Amerika at Australia, ngayon meron na tayong sariling atin. Hindi lang yan mga kabayan, mga makabagong armored personal carrier na isinuplay ng Israel at Brazil, malapit na ring lumapag sa Pilipinas. Ito na ang ikalawang batch ng delivery ng mga Granny 6x6 armored personal carrier para sa Philippine Army. Wow na wow! Department of Foreign Affairs wala ng preno-preno pa, inilahad sa United Nations ang pangbabastos at pang-aapi ng China sa mga Pilipino sa West Philippine Sea. Sa mga nagsasabing peke at gumagawa lang tayo ng kwento na ang USS Ohio, nuclear submarine ng Amerika ay dumaong sa Subic Bay, ito na po ang patunay. Isang video na nagpapakita na ang US Navy USS Ohio nuclear submarine ay nakalitaw katabi ang USS Frank Cable, AS-40 at USNS Tippecanoe sa Subic Bay, tugma sa detalyeng kuha ng vessel tracker. Pilipinas, para mas mabantayan ang mga karagatan natin sa buong bansa laban sa anumang posibleng pananakop ng dayuhang bansa, bumili ito ng dalawang bagong-bago at high-tech na mga maritime patrol aircraft na kung saan Israel ang magsusupply ng mga ito. Yes, tama po ang inyong narinig mga kabayan. Sa katunayan, ang mga long-range patrol aircraft na ito ay nasa Pilipinas na ngayon. Totoo? Oo. Nitong Mayo ng taong 2025, dumating sa bansa ang kauna-unahang ATR 72-600 maritime patrol aircraft na may tail number 1702. At nitong ika-28 naman ng Setyembre ng taong kasalukuyan, dumating na rin sa bansa ang ikalawang ATR 72-600 maritime patrol aircraft na may tail number 1713. Wala man tayo nito noon, pero dahil sa pagpupursigi ng gobyerno at Armed Forces of the Philippines at Department of National Defense sa kanilang programang Modernization Program, naging makatotohanan na ang matagal nang hinahangad at pinapangarap nating mga Pilipino. Sa mga nagtatanong, kailan ba nabili ng Pilipinas ang mga makabagong maritime patrol long-range aircraft na ito? Ayon sa impormasyong ating nakala, Hulyo ng taong 2023, inanunsyo ng isang kumpanya ng Israel ang Elbit System na nanalo ito ng kontrata para mag-supply ng 2 units ng makabagong long-range patrol aircraft na nagkakahalaga ng $114 million o mahigit kumulang 6.5 billion peso. Ngayong meron na tayong ganitong uri ng mga kakayahan, mas mapapalakas pa at mapapalawig ng Philippine Air Force ang kanilang pagbabantay at pangangalap ng mga impormasyon sa ating mga teritoryo. Sa mga gamit at teknolohiyang inilagay ng Israel sa mga eroplanong ito, siguradong walang kawala maging ang mga artificial na isla ng China, maging ang mga abusadong barko ng China Coast Guard, People's Liberation Army Navy at Chinese Maritime Militia na iligal na pumapasok sa ating Exclusive Economic Zone o sa West Philippine Sea. Hindi lang yan mga kabayan. Eto pa, ayon sa impormasyong ating nakalap, malapit nang dumaong sa Pilipinas ang sinasakyan ng mga karagdagang Granny 6x6 armored personal carrier mula sa Brazil patungo sa ating bansa. Ito na ang ikalawang batch ng delivery ng mga nasabing sistema para sa Philippine Army Modernization Program. Ang mga Granny 6x6 armored personal carrier ay lalagyan ng mga armas at combat system ng Israel. Sa ibang balita naman, Maria Teresa Lazaro, Secretary ng Department of Foreign Affairs ng Pilipinas, hindi pinalagpas ang pagkakataon upang ipaalam sa mundo ang mga mapait na karanasan ng mga mangingisdang Pilipino at mga otoridad ng Pilipinas sa West Philippine Sea dahil sa illegal na mga hakbang ng China. Inihayag ng kalihim ng Department of Foreign Affairs sa iba't ibang bansa kung anong klaseng pag-uugali ang meron ang China.
Ladies and gentlemen, we stand in the midst of a global revolution of people, of economies, and of technologies. Migration straddles these changes. The movement of people across borders sustains growth in countries of origin, transit, and destination alike. Every day, Filipino migrants across the world are a testament to this. They support health systems, advance education, and boost creative economies. The 1.9 million seafarers are the backbone of maritime trade that accounts for 90% of global commerce. The International Conference on Seafarers, Human Rights, Safety, and Well-being held in Manila early this month affirmed that states and stakeholders are ready to do more for them. As migrants link our nations, their rights and dignity should be a gathering point, not a fault line for governments. Technology is the other defining force of our age, a connector, an enabler, an equalizer. Artificial intelligence offers promise, but carries profound risks. We must help build digital societies that bridges development divides rather than widen them, conforming with safeguards against misuse. Over the last 80 years, the United Nations Charter has served as a wellspring of purpose and action for those who rise equal to the task of delivering its promise. There is no alternative to the United Nations. There is no good global order other than one based on international law and the principle of the sovereign equality of states. A rules-based order is indispensable. To maritime nations such as the Philippines, international law, particularly the 1982 Law of the Sea, is fundamental to our future. While our government vessels and fisher folk continue to be harassed in our own waters, and as we remain on the receiving end of illegal, coercive, aggressive, and dangerous actions in the South China Sea, we abide by the UNCLOS as reinforced by the binding 2016 Arbitral Award on the South China Sea. We are committed to diplomacy and other peaceful means to settle disputes. At the birth of the UN, the Philippines actively helped in framing the foundational principle of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which states that all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. The early decades of the UN saw the spirited engagement of Filipino diplomats against colonization and apartheid and economic inequality. We have steadfastly strived for justice. For its cause, we have helped manage the front lines of climate diplomacy, from the drafting of the Climate Change Convention itself to the Kyoto Protocol and the Paris Agreement. We have engaged with the fire of a nation familiar with the brunt of devastation, of disasters and extreme weather events. We know the urgency of global action. Justice and equity was our guidepost during the crafting of the WHO Pandemic Agreement. The adoption of this treaty last May was a sweet spot in the Philippines' presidency of the World Health Assembly. Our pledge to peace is unwavering. The Philippines was among the first to respond to the UN call for assistance in the Korean War. A decade later, Philippine troops flew halfway across the globe to aid in peacekeeping operations in the Congo. Since then, we have sent nearly 15,000 troops to 21 peacekeeping missions in Africa, Middle East, and the Asia Pacific.
Laban Pinas.